Hi everyone, I'm back with a short video that I wanted to make for a while about the Sound Voltex Konasute Premium Pass that was added in September of 2025. You can buy this pass on the same store page where you can buy the song packs, and it is 500 yen per month or 2,500 yen for 6 months. So what's in the package? First, the pass allows you to unlock the Blaster Gate charts much faster. After every full chart, you will gain 24% blaster energy, which is triple the normal amount. That means you can play Blaster Gate after every 5th song now. Additionally, you will always immediately unlock the Blaster Gate chart after playing it, even if you can't clear it. This will allow you to also unlock charts that are currently above your skill level, and you can unlock all the songs in the game quite quickly then. The second edition is bringing the new gauge type Maxxive Rate to the Konasute version. This gauge behaves similar to Excessive Rate, the hard gauge, but it depletes much faster. You will also lose gauge when you hit a critical judgment, so to keep the gauge you will need to hit S criticals, which have a more narrow timing window. If you select the ARS mode and start with Maxxive Gauge, you will first drop to Excessive Rate after a few mistakes, and finally to Effective Rate after more mistakes. So what's the point of Maxxive Gauge? It gives you a new kind of clear metal, which also gives you more wall force. So you can squeeze a little bit of more wall force out of the charts you have already mastered. However, the main selling point of the Premium Pass is probably the training mode. This is a new game mode which you can select directly from the main menu. Here, you can select any song and difficulty to enter the training mode. Once in, the chart will not scroll on its own, and you can use the knobs to scroll through the chart manually. By hitting both FX buttons and start at the same time, you can start or stop the playback of the chart. And if you hit both FX buttons and start longer, you'll jump to the beginning of the song. By hitting the left FX button while playback is paused, you can enter the options menu. The first and probably most important thing you can configure here is the playback speed, which you can set between 0.5 and 1.5 the normal speed. This is of course mostly useful to slow down the song and practice reading and executing the patterns at a slower speed. The next thing you can set up is a start and end measure for a section of the song that you want to practice. However, you can also set this in the chart view itself. When you exit the options, you can scroll through the song and you can push button A to set the start measure, which will be marked in red in the chart, as well as the progress bar at the top. And by pressing the D button, you can set the end measure, which will be marked in blue. Hitting both FX buttons plus start will now take you to the start measure. This is especially useful together with the repeat option. If you enable it, you can play your marked section in a loop automatically. I have marked a smaller section to demonstrate this. Now let's go over the remaining options. Autoplay means that the game will play perfectly by itself. An interesting option here is though that you can also enable this just for buttons or just for knobs. The next option is about fixing the lane speed. As you know, in Softland charts, when the BPM of the song changes, the lane speed also adapts. You can turn this effect off here if you just want to practice the patterns without worrying about adjusting the lane speed. And the next option is about turning off camera movements, such as screen shakes that typically happen during a laser slam. You will then play with a fixed camera. And finally, you can select the type of gauge you want to play with, which supports effective, excessive, Maxxive, and permissive gauge, which is the gauge used in Skill Analyzer. You can also set a starting value for the respective gauge. The last two buttons are used to reset all settings to default and to exit back to the song selection. You can use those by pushing the start button. And that's all of training mode. However, a final caveat to mention here is that you cannot play all songs in training mode. This seems to be related to some licensing issues. This of course brings us to the question, is it worth it? If you buy the 6-month pass, the yearly cost ends up at 5,000 yen, which is only about 3 months of the ordinary Konasute subscription fee. So in the end, paying that on top is honestly not that much. The Maxxive Rate and the additional wall force you can get from it is probably not that relevant to most players. But you could consider buying the premium pass for a few months to unlock all the Blaster Gate songs that you're still missing, much faster than for normal gameplay. After that, the Blaster Gauge bonus loses its utility though. So I think in the end it comes down to how useful you find training mode and how serious you are about practicing patterns with it to improve. After trying out training mode, I think it can be a very helpful tool to improve faster, but I also find it much less fun than just playing the game normally. So I'm not sure if I will actually use it that much. That's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.